In this video, we are putting together addition and subtraction of integers. So you need to be sure that you understand when to use each rule. And remember that when we were subtracting integers, we always changed our problem from subtraction to addition. Then once you have an addition problem, you use your rules for addition. In a few of these problems, I'm going to discuss them in terms of real-world problems. But for the first problem, I have -4 plus 7, and I'm going to look at this in terms of money. Let's say I have -$4 in my checking account. I am overdrawn by $4. And if I add $7 into my checking account, I'm going to have enough money to cover that $4 loss and still have some left over. So I end up with $3 in my checking account. So I have a +3 for my answer. Okay, problem 2, I have -6 minus 2. So let's again use money. I've got -$6 for my checking account balance, and then I write a check for another $2. So now my checking account balance is -8. Problem 3, let's say that I have a test. Let's see if I can draw a picture here of a test. And I have problem 1 that I've missed 2 points on, problem 2 I've missed 2 points, and problem 3 I've missed 2 points. So I have a total of -6 points on my test, right? I've missed 6 points on the test. And let's say the teacher then decides that she's made a mistake and that she is going to take away one of these -2s, right? So she takes away one of the -2s, and now you only have -4 for your test. Well, another way to think about this, taking away -2, is the same thing as adding 2 points to your grade. So either way, you end up with -4 for your answer. And if you want to, you can always go back to what we did in our previous video with subtracting using the KFC, keeping the first number the same, flips from subtraction to addition, change the sign of the last number. All right, subtraction is the same thing as adding the opposite. Problem 4, 6 minus 2, you learned that in first grade. There's really no need for you to try to put that in terms of modeling on a number line or using positives and negatives if you don't want to. Problem 5, again, subtraction is the same thing as adding the opposite. So I have 6 plus 2, which is 8. Problem 6, I have a subtraction problem. I need to change that to an addition problem. Minus a negative is the same thing as plus a positive. So I have 9 plus 1, which is 10. Okay, problem 7, I have 8 plus 3. That's a problem like you learned in first grade. The answer to that is 11. Problem number 8, I have 9 plus -6. And the answer here is going to be 3. And again, we can use the number line to model that, or we can model it with pictures. Hopefully by now you'll know that the answer to that is just 3. Okay, problem number 9, I have -4 minus 1. Let's look at this problem in terms of yardage on a football field. Let's say I am 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then on the next play I lose another yard. So now I am 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So I'm at -5. Problem 10, let's look at this in terms of temperature. Say it's 3 degrees outside. You can draw a thermometer here. Here's 0, 1, 2, 3 degrees. And then the temperature drops 10 degrees. So I'm going to end up being down here at -7. Problem number 11, I can look at in terms of temperature or money. If you're at 0 and then you drop 5, you're at -5. Problem number 12, I have a subtraction problem. I'm going to change that to adding the opposite. So now I have 6 plus 2, which is 8. Okay, problem 13, 5 minus 5 is 0. So I want you to notice that I'm starting with some number here, and then I'm taking away that same number. Problem number 14, -4 minus -4. I want you to understand that problem 14 is a lot like problem 13. You're starting with some number here, and then you're taking away that same number. And it doesn't matter whether the number is positive or negative. If you start with something and then take it away, your final answer is going to be 0. Problem 15, again, we can look at this as several different ways. If you look at it in terms of money, you can say, okay, I've got -$3 from my checking account balance, then I take away another 5, so now I'm down at -8. You could think of it in terms of temperature. I'm 3 degrees below 0, and then the temperature drops another 5, so now I'm 8 degrees below 0. Think about it in terms of yardage on a football field. We're 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then I've lost another 5 yards, so now I'm 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And again, we can always go back to this idea of subtraction. It's the same thing as adding the opposite. So -3 and -5, 3 negatives, 5 more negatives, altogether you have 8 negatives. Now, if we were doing this in class, those first 15 problems would be on the left column of your paper. And so we would be doing those together, stop and check our answers, and then have you do the last column on your own. So 16 through 30, I want you to do, and then pause the video and come back and check your answers. Okay, and there are your answers for the remainder of those problems.